everyone, this is Elaine Biss, and today I'm going to do another product review, and I have a little bit of story time first and then we'll do the review. I love pens and I love paper and I love notebooks. Like, I could go into a notebook store or a stationery store and just be there for hours. And this started because of my dad. My dad was a pen salesman and for a distributor company in Puerto Rico, and that was all throughout the 80s until like about 1987 or 88. And around that time I was in elementary school. I was really young. So I remember my dad giving me a pen, and I had a fabulous Parker pen that I used to take to school. Now, Parker pens are actually not Japanese. They're actually made in England, actually in France. They're constructed in France, but their headquarters are in England. But they used to be made back in the day in Wisconsin. And if you're fortunate enough to find yourself a Parker pen that it's from the 1920s, you're gonna find that they're not only beautiful, they're made out of celluloid, they have all of this detail in them. They're fabulous pens to collect. So, but they're also very expensive. So I remember that sometime in 1980 something, my father gave me a Jotter pen, because that was a pen that was in style, and they came in pastel colors. Just, you know, it was just really 80s. And I remember I had the mauve pen, and my sister had like a very light blush pen, and I never got to pick pink because she liked pink. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take mauve. It was the closest color to pink, and I didn't have to argue about it. So I remember going to school with this very expensive pen, and I still couldn't use it because I was still in elementary school. I remember I used to hate pencils. I was like, oh, why can't we just use a pen? I love my pen. I want to use that. So I started when I came to the United States. It was the first time I was ever able to use a pen in a classroom, and not all teachers wanted you to do that. So I had a bunch of, you know, pilot pens that you get at the stationery store, and I love Parker pens, especially the fine point rollerball type pens, and they seem to always have a very steady line. They're just really nice. I just absolutely love those. Turns out that they're Japanese. I thought that they were American pens. I always thought pilot pens were American pens, but they're not. They're actually Japanese. So I started discovering that they have more than just rollerball or gel pens or those type of pens. They have what they call parallel pens, which it equals to what a calligraphy artist will call a broad edge pen, and they're fabulous. They're just that amazing. I went and I bought a set, but because I'm really not into that type of calligraphy, I went and I gave it to my dad. So my dad now has that set, and but I still love, you know, I still love pens. I'm still constantly looking for new pens, and I found a brand that I really like. And I finally, but ever since I would like, every time I would like look for that brand, I would notice that they were incredibly pricey. They're always like $300 or $400 pens, and I'm like, I don't think you can like justify a $300 pen unless it's made out of gold. Turns out that they are. Turns out that they have entry-level pens, and I found a couple, and I also found ink for them. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to show you what I found. Now, the pen that I got, and I've already opened it. I did get it in Amazon, and there will be a link to the bottom of this video. And this one is called a Fude de Menin. And though I don't know what Fude de Menin is, and it almost seems like they've intermixed Japanese with a little bit of German in it. I couldn't tell you. All I know is that this pen is particularly, it does something in particular that other pens cannot do. And most of their nibs are very stiff, but they have designs that allow you to go back on the stroke or write in reverse, or based on the angle in which you place the pen, it will allow you to have a very fine line or a very broad line. And this is what the Fruited-Elaine does. It allows you to have that variation in the line based on the degree of the angle that you use the pen. Because I didn't know if it was gonna come with let me see if I can just let me have to take. So I don't know if that shows detail or not. I hope it does, but I don't know if that shows detail or not. But these are, the Sailor company has been around for a very long time. They have had the same craftsmen designing and creating these pen nibs specifically for artists. There's I think it's called the 1910 or the 1911 series, and they were actually made for an artist. And now the son of that particular artist has actually taken over the father's work, and he is now creating and keeping on with the tradition of great handcrafted pens. And I have seen people who will actually take one of these pens, who sometimes what they do is they solder a little ball on the bottom of them. So if the ball ever becomes worn out, what they do is they take them to the craftsman, and they have like a workshop where they come in and they actually repair the pen, and they will put they'll solder the ball in, and then they'll file it down and put the markings in, which I thought was great. And this is something that they do for free as a service for the pens. And I you know, this one doesn't have a ball in the pen, but I guess if you have a pricier model, you get to do such a thing. I didn't know whether it was gonna come in with ink or not, or with a converter for that matter. This is the black Fruited-Elaine, and it does come in a green one as well. So I'm just gonna show real quick. I hope you can see this. Okay, and those are the markings, and that way you know that this is an original. This isn't like somebody went and made a fake. So Sailor actually makes their own ink. So this one actually comes with 2 cartridges. And there's another one nicked down inside. There you go. So it comes with a cartridge, but it also has a converter piston. So it's like a little thing that you connect here, and then you put it down, and you like an injection, I would say. It's like a converter piston, but I would say it's more or less an injection. So you have to pull the ink up into it. So either way, whether you're using it with a cartridge or with a piston, you still have to pull the ink through. Now they have something called gentle ink, and they misspelled it they actually spelled it with a J. And it's actually adorable. Like, their packaging is just beautiful. I love Japanese graphic design. I just would not know what to buy, and I would buy everything, because I think if it's cute, it must be purchased. So here's the bottle, and this is actually green. I actually thought it would be black, but I really didn't pay attention, and I didn't type. I should have actually gone out of my way to translate these things, but I just wanted a jar of ink. Turns out that you can use Pilot Pen ink, which is actually comes in a really classy, beautiful square bottle. So it almost looks like cologne. And you can use that, or you can use the more romantic version of the Sailor Pen ink called Storia. And this one is Pink Dancer or Dancer, and this is a Sailor. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Storia Sailor. And it comes wrapped in a little tissue, and it's a really pretty bottle. It's just gorgeous. I wish I knew if I could write on black with this, because it almost seems opaque enough that it might, but I don't think so. But that's it. I am going to do a video on how it writes, and you can follow along. Also, one other issue that you might want to consider whenever you're using pens like this is that not all paper will work with them because they're considered dip pens. The ink tends to bleed and feather. So if you don't know what bleeding and feathering is, feathering makes the letters look like the fibers are absorbing it, and you can't really read it very well. It makes the letters look like it has hairs. And bleeding actually means that it's going to go through all the way through the other side of the paper. So you might be writing a letter on one side, but then you can see the whole letter on the other side because it's bled through. So we're going to use the cartridge that it came in with. I'm not going to use any of the fancy inks this time, just because I need to buy the converter. That's the whole use of the sides is obviously narrower, so I am going to push it through. Ooh, it bent. I wasn't expecting that. Dirty my clothes. Okay, so it bent. I thought this was blue, and it's not. The cartridge is flexible. It actually fell on my pants. So now I have inky pants. It wouldn't be my show if I don't get some ink on me. So, all right. So I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna put the camera overhead so you can see how it writes. Just for the sake of testing a few pieces of paper at the same time, I have different kinds of paper, and also I'm using a dip pen as a control so you can see what happens when you write with a dip pen. And I am going to use the Sailor pen ink. Okay, so I decided to use different kinds of paper. I have just regular paper, tablet paper. This is super cheap. It's like from the Dollar General. And then I have Clairefontaine Triumph paper, and this is actually made to withstand a dip pen or the sharpness of a calligraphy, pointed calligraphy. And then I have two Rhodia notepads. Now one of these I believe was not very good, and I just stopped using it. This one's lined. Oh, I think this is the one. So I have this, also I have other types of dip ink. I don't remember the name of, I have them right here. I'll pull them up. So this isn't like the best quality, the J. Harbin. And it's supposed to be scented, which is actually really cute. It smells really good, but it makes your writing bleed to the back, and I did not like that. I was not having it. However, if you're using other ink, it's fine with it. So I am going to use Sailor Pens Gentle Ink in green, and we're gonna start first with our Sailor pen. So if you start like this, it's supposed to be real thin. See, this is what I mean by fraying. It looks like the, let me see if I can just get in a little tight. Shot. So that's what I mean by, it kind of looks like it frays the letters. This is not good paper for it. Specifically right here. But I'm sure the dip pen will do the same thing. Oh yeah, there is a funnel inside, huh? Yep, it frays. So this tells me that this is not good enough paper for this type of ink or pen. So I am going to try something else. So the next paper that we're going to try is the cheap Dollar Tree, dollar store paper. I'm gonna move this over so I have more space. And let's use the Fude first. And I almost know that this is, I know for certain that this is just not gonna work out. Yeah, it's like, I don't like it, but it is actually holding, almost like a marker would. So this is actually not bad. So it's not necessarily fraying, but it's also not bleeding through. So I'm really happy about that. So I can use it on a cheap tablet if I wanted to. And now we're gonna try the dip pen. My writing is horrendous today. Okay, so this actually just tells me that the quality of the pen, of the ink, is much better than the quality of the paper, because it's not only holding on to where I placed it, but it's not bleeding through, so it's not fraying out into the fibers. So this is good paper for that type of writing. And sometimes what they do is they buffer, because this is made out of wood pulp. So what they do is they buffer the fibers on top so it doesn't absorb them the way this paper did. So it doesn't fray out. And I'll just show it again. So it doesn't fray out like that, like specifically like this, because it just looks really bad. But this one's a winner. So the other paper I usually use is Triumph. And as you can see, Triumph already has broken my heart because it made the paper bleed. But it comes with this nifty little sheet that you put underneath it in order for you to write a letter, and you can almost see through it. So I don't know what to think of it. I like that it kind of has like this bleed points, because it gives it what's the word I'm looking for? It gives it personality. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It has even texture. Gives it personality, but it, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it. I honestly think at this point that what's holding it together is not necessarily the pen, or rather, I'm sorry, not the paper, but rather the ink. So again, I think it's just the ink quality. The paper might be good. It is buffered. So this is the Fude de Manon, and this is just a dip pen. And there's a difference between fraying and texture. This is texture, and fraying just looks like it completely disassembles the letter. So in this paper, it seems to be more textury. It has a lot more quality of personality to the writing. Like if you hesitate, this is a hesitation point. So wherever you hesitate, it's just gonna have a bleed of ink in there, and I kind of like it. It looks nice. So this is the Clairefontaine. Again, it's a very expensive pad. So it's Rhodia, by the way. Rhodia has been around for many, many years, and they basically create paper that is specifically for this type of writing. So again, I'm going to start with the Fude, the Manon. Yep, it's me. So the first thing I look is toward the back. There is nothing in the back, so I like it. Obviously this paper is made for this type of pen and this type of ink. So let's try the dip pen. And again, I don't see any fraying. I feel like it's again one of those papers that the dip pen, the difference between the dip pen obviously and the Fude is that you're going to have the Fude, you're going to have a variation in the thickness of the line, whereas the dip pen is always going to maintain that same thickness throughout the writing. And I'm not a fan of this, but for some things it's really good, especially sketching. So you might want a dip pen for sketching. And now we're going to use the Canson. A Canson Excel marker, and I use it for calligraphy, for doing calligraphy practice as well, calligraphy works that are gonna be printed later on. So let's try it again. Let's try a Fude again. I don't feel like I can do calligraphy with this. Let's just try hello. I thought I'd be able to do calligraphy with it, you know, pointed calligraphy. So like, let's try one more time. I don't feel like this is not fraying, this is actually this part touching the back, and it's not pretty. It's just because I'm actually pushing at a different angle, it creates this weird ghost line. It's not fraying. The paper actually is holding pretty well. It's the angle in which I'm writing. The angle in which I'm writing creates this little line here. So let's try. This is obviously the dip pen. The ink is good. I just think let's try something simpler. Well, it's good for writing. If my writing looks different every time, it's because I have to like change the angle of my hand in order to write and accommodate it. So there you go. Those are the different types. I hope you give calligraphy writing and kanji writing a try. I feel that it's an essential skill that you need if you are trying to become a fashion illustrator, a serious fashion illustrator, because it helps you visualize what you want to draw on the paper, and it gets you out of the habit of making a preformed drawing. That's not always necessary, especially if you already have it in your head. If you'd like to purchase any of the items that I have shown you here, they're at the bottom of my video description. They are affiliate links, which helps out the channel. Thank you so much for watching again. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and go make something couture.